Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello everyone, my name is Rizky Amelia. I will explain the things I have learned on the Listening Voice American website. There are 6 topics, and for each topic, I take 3 subtopics. So I think my subtopics are around 16. Okay, let's begin.
Okay, the first topic is arts and culture. My subtopic 1 is Eden Center is the head of Vietnamese culture in Washington. I put date and time too, and there is a screenshot, the picture of Eden Center. The content is the subtopic is about a very famous Vietnamese marketplace in Washington called Eden Center. There are 2 speakers in it who describe and explain market information. The condition of Eden Center has not shown any sign of fading based on how the building appears with bright red, green, and yellow arches appearing above the entrance. Aspect for one, every store in the shopping center is open. And Vietnamese investors teamed up together to purchase a failing market just a few miles west of Little Saigon. It developed into what is now known as the Eden Center, and the vital role Eden Center plays in preserving a shared culture. This market hosts traditional Vietnamese festivals and other cultural events throughout the year. And what I can learn from this subtopic is I became aware of information about a well-known location in Washington, the Eden Center. And the way I learn, first, I listen carefully, even though there are some sentence or words that I don't understand. Secondly, I look at the available text and pictures to better understand it. I use a laptop and headset media while listening. I am in a quiet place, and at that time, I choose in my room to focus more. Next is subtopic 2 is about Japanese bridge indoor outdoor space. This is date time is Sunday, November 14th, 2021. This is a screenshot. This is a screenshot that I learned when I learned, and the content is about Japanese style garden in the United States, starting from a glimpse of its history, designs, objects, styles related to Japan. Let's say we take from the design of Japanese gardens in the US that have gone beyond commonly recognized features such as special lamps called lanterns and imported Japanese cherry and maple trees. John Powell says Japanese gardens appeal to him because of the strong connection between indoor and outdoor spaces. Traditionally, outdoor landscaping in the United States is very disconnected from indoor spaces, but today he says more Americans are liking the idea of connecting indoors and outdoors. And what I can learn from this subtopic is I came to know what a Japanese style garden would like in the United States. The other provides information ranging from history, design, and objects and style related to Japanese gardens. And the way I learn is that first, listen carefully. Always listen carefully, even if there were some words and sentences I cannot understand, and then to look at the available text and pictures while listening to identify which words were unfamiliar, so I could practice and learn again. I use a smartphone or handphone media and a headset. While listening to it, I'm in a quiet place to be more focused, and I am seated in front of my study table in my room. The next is subtopic 3. The title is Google finds out what Americans are dressing up as on Halloween. This is date, time, and this is a screenshot or picture that I take. The content. The most popular Halloween costumes in America this year are witches, bunnies, and dinosaurs. Based on a website called Google Fridays, it displays a lot of costume ideas that users can wear. Rounding out the top 5 most sought after costumes this year are the superheroes Spider-Man and Cruella the Vil. The site's costume map gives users an overview of the most popular costumes in cities across America. For example, the top costume around Charleston, South Carolina is the astronaut. And there is a comment on someone's account that is quite silly in my opinion. He commented that he thought the coronavirus costume was the most popular on Halloween this year. Well, yes, given the existence of this COVID-19, I believe he has a valid point. His comments. He said, "I thought coronavirus costume was the most popular for this Halloween." And the next, what I can learn from this subtopic, that I found out what the most popular costumes are, and if I want to find reference or information on various Halloween costumes or something like that, I can go to the Google Fridays website, which provides costume recommendations. Okay, the way I learn, like before, I listen carefully, even though there are some words and sentences that I have missed and I can't understand. Secondly, I look at the available text and pictures while listening so that I know which words are foreign so I can practice again. I use laptop media and a headset. While listening, I'm in a quiet place to be more focused, and that time I was alone in the living room. Next is the next topic is about education. My first subtopic is U.S. schools debate gifted and talented programs. This is a daytime. I take in on Monday, November 11th, 2021 at 8:40 p.m. So this is the night. At night, I mean, this is a screenshot that I take, and the content is regarding gifted and talented school programs, which are considered as unequal in the education system in U.S. public schools. School leaders and parents are increasingly confronted with difficult questions about equality. There are groups that want the program to end, such as in Seattle, where inequality exists, and school leaders have since agreed to change the program. Students will be accepted based on their academic performance. Then I also work on the available quizzes. This is, I can zoom these things. There was one wrong
Answer
and three,
correct answers.
and my score is 75%. What I can learn from this subtopic is information about program. This continues in some gifted and talented schools in the US due to an unequal and unfair system. The way I learn, first I listen carefully, even though there were some words and sentences that I missed and couldn't catch. And secondly, while listening, I looked at the available text and pictures to see which words were foreign to me and needed to be practiced again. I use laptop media and headphones. When I'm trying to listen, I am in quiet place, so I choose to focus more and more in my room. Next is the second topic. The title is How Second Year Students Spend Their First Year on Campus. This is when I learned this topic is on Sunday, now November 14th, 2021 at 7:30 p.m. So I learned in the morning. This is screenshot that I take, and the content is about how second year students spend their first days on campus. Channel Johnson, a student at Howard University in Washington, D.C., and Malika Gore, a student at Syracuse University in central New York, are the subjects. They are both in their first year of college and are primarily studying through video classes. As a result, they were renamed another freshman class this year by some people at Howard Johnson's University, where he attended a so-called March meeting. He also witnessed something he did not acknowledge the previous year, the student protest movement. Meanwhile, students at Syracuse University enjoy a variety of activities such as games, movies, ice skating, and even Halloween. This year, Gore participated in as many non-academic activities as she could. When he went to his first soccer game, he discovered what Orange Spirit was. And the bits I and the next is that I did the quiz, and here's the picture, and there is one question that is wrong, and the result is like this. What I can learn from this subtopic, after researching the environment and campus activities in the United States, I discovered their university to be very cool and interesting. I also got the atmosphere and picture that Channel Johnson and Malika Gore described as second-year students who had just had the opportunity to participate in the lecture activities firsthand. And the way I learned to first always listen to the audio first. Then I read the text while listening to it again. The media I use is a laptop and headset. I'm also in a quiet place. So topic 3, the title is about students learning English had a difficult time during the pandemic. This is the time that I took the lesson. And this is the screenshot or picture, and the content is about the number of ESL students has decreased during the 2020 until 2021 pandemic. WIDA, a research group at the University of Wisconsin, says scores in many areas of English proficiency, reading, speaking, listening, and writing have declined over the past school year. Educators and schools officials say that online classes make it difficult for ESL students to use English when it is not being used at home. So Villages says states should look at their own test scores and information to figure out where to put their courses to best serve their students. And the next is that I did quizzes related to this subtopic. All my answers are correct. And what I can learn from this subtopic, because the number of ESL students has decreased during this year's pandemic, it's a good idea for managers to find out strategies and ways in which to put their resources to serve students so they don't have difficulties. The way I learn, like before, I listen carefully, and the second I listening, and while I look at the available text and pictures to see which words are foreign, and the media I used is laptop with headset, and I'm in a quiet place to be more focused. Oops, wait. And the topic is about everyday grammar. Subtopic 1, the title is Nouns and Pronouns in Popular Music. This is the date, time on Tuesday, November 11th, 2021 at 8:44 p.m. This is picture or screenshot that I took. The content. So this is about nouns and pronouns in song by Kid Laroi and Justin Bieber called Stay. This is the lyrics. I do the same thing I told you that I never would. I told you I would change even when I knew I never could. Now that I can't find nobody else as good as you, I need you to stay, hey, oh. So, I see in traditional grammar books and what I hear in music, some of the lyric pieces that I will be studying are, I do the same thing I told you that I never would. There is a singular noun thing in the song Stay. The word thing denotes an action or activity. If rewritten, it would be something like, I do the same action that I told you I would not do. The imperative, form, and pronoun use are contained in the lyrics. Now that I can find nobody else as good as you, the word nobody is also a pronoun. It means no one. no one. It denotes a negation, but also notice that the word before nobody is also a negation. I can't find. So there are two negation, no one and I can't find. Generally, traditional grammar is unacceptable, and if you want to rewrite it, it's better to replace like anybody. For example, I can't find anybody. Uh, what I can learn from this subtopic. I was able to learn about English grammar and analyze the lyric solely from the song's lyrics. I recognize the various uses of nouns and pronouns in the lyric of the song "Stay" by Justin Bieber. The way I learn, I listening carefully. The first is I listening carefully, and the second I look at the available text and pictures while listening to evaluate which words were unfamiliar and needed to be practiced again. I use laptop media and headphones. While listening, I'm in a quiet place to be more focused. And at that time, I was alone in the living room. And the next topic is about grammar and scary movies. This is screenshot that I took. The content is about questions, auxiliary verbs, and pronunciation through a scary movie called Scream. So in the movie, there is a moment where a murderer asks a question to a woman who is alone in her house. She asks, "Do you like scary movies?" This is a question for which the answer is yes or no. In the general structure of the question sentence, do is the auxiliary verb, you is the subject, which means the woman, you. Like is the main verb, like, and scary movies is the object. Then the grammar and pronunciation. Americans often reduce meaning to say in a softer, shorter way. Function words. Function words are words that have a grammatical purpose. This can include pronouns and auxiliary verbs and other words such as articles and prepositions. On the other hand, Americans often emphasize content words, words that include verbs, nouns, adjectives, and so on. So it will sound like, "Do you like scary movies?" Some American might even reduce the word "you" even further and say something like, "Do you like scary movies?" "Do you like scary movies?" Like that. And what I can learn from this subtopic, with just this one sentence, I have learned many things, namely the use of yes or no questions, auxiliary verb do, and pronunciation of how American speech emphasizes words. The way I learn, like before, I firstly, I listened carefully, even though there were some words and sentences that I missed and couldn't understand. Secondly, I looked at the available text and pictures while listening, so I knew which words were unfamiliar for me to practice again. I use more mobile or handphone media and with headset. While listening to it, I am in a quiet place to be more focused, and at that time, I sat facing my study table in my room. Subtopic is describing your day, the evening. This is the screenshot. And I'm sorry. The content is about how to describe our favorite parts of the day and typical evening activities, starting with a comparison and moving on to a superlative, comparison is an adjective that compares people or things, takes the comparative form, and is frequently followed by done. For example, in the example sentence, the sentence Bob is older than Jim. Bob is older than
The
Jim.
verb
The superlative is the most adverbial form of an adjective. The S suffix is frequently used. The night is the best part of the day. For example, then there are evening activities in which English speakers use verbs to describe common nighttime activities. These activities include watching, listening, playing, and talking. People may watch television at night. Activities include watching, listening, playing, and talking. For example, people may watch television at night. English speakers also use expressions, phrasal verbs, and various types of idioms to describe nighttime activities. And what I can learn from this subtopic, I got a lesson on comparisons and superlatives. Then there are verbs that can be used to describe nighttime activities. The way I learn, uh, like just before, uh, first listen to the audio, then read the text while listening to it again. The media that I use are cell phones or like something smartphone and headsets. I mean also in a place that is not noisy. The next topic is as it is. My first subtopic is natural gas cost force Nigerians back to wood cooking fuel. This is the time that I take learning. On Friday, November 12, 2021 at 7:15 p.m. This is the screenshot or photo I took. The content subtopic is about the high price of LPG in Nigeria. Many women like 73-year-old Aduni Abdul spend hours inside cooking areas or at roadside cooking stalls even though it damages their health and destroy the forest. Nigeria is a major oil producer and a member of OPEC, the Organization for Oil Exporting Countries, but it lacks the industrial capability to process oil. Ekudaya said, supporting the dirtier fuels while taxing LPG violated promises to reduce carbon emissions. It's time for gas to replace other dirty fuels, not the time to have inconsistent policies, said Ekundayo. A spokesman for Buhari and the oil ministry did not comment on the tax. Uh, I have a suggestion to the American site manager is that because the speaker sounds sluggish and the tone makes me sleepy when I listen, it would be better for the speaker to sound more vibrant and lively so that the listener does not fall asleep. And what I can learn from this subtopic, with the increase in LPG prices in Nigeria, like it or not, small traders like Aduni Abdul have to use dirty fuel even though it can damage health and forests. The way I learn the things I do when I study is that first I listen carefully. First, even though there are some words and sentences that I have missed. Secondly, I look at the available text and images while listening so I know which words are foreign to me. I use I use mobile media or smartphone or handphone with headset. When listening to it, I'm in a quiet place to focus more, such as in my room. And subtopic for us, the second subtopic is about U.S. Congress requires new technology to stop drunken driving. This is day time that I took. This is the screenshot, like always, and the content is the new law in the United States for car manufacturers is to prevent drunk people from driving cars. In total, about $17 billion will go towards the road safety program. This is the largest increase in funding in years, said the Anno Transport Center. The National Highway Traffic Safety Administration (NHTSA) reports that each year approximately uh, 10,000 people in the United States die in alcohol-related car accidents. That's nearly 30% of all traffic deaths. Some Abul-Samit with Guidehouse Insight, a market research firm, says the most likely system to prevent drunk driving is an infrared camera that tracks driver behavior. What I can learn is I got information that the American government asked automakers to make machines and advanced technology to prevent drunk driving. This has already been regulated. The way I listen carefully even though there are some sentences or words that I don't understand. Secondly, I took at the available text and pictures to better understand it. I use cell phones and headphones while listening to it. I'm in a quiet place. And at that time, I choose to stay in my room to focus more. The next subtopic is the title Smoke Closes Schools colleges in New Delhi. This is daytime that I took learning on Thursday, November 18th, 2021 at 13:40 p.m. This is the picture. The content is about a dangerous smoke has blanketed the Indian capital, New Delhi, and it has reached a severe level. In an effort to reduce pollution, officials have ordered schools and colleges to close and people to work from home. However, the measures will not exacerbate pollution but will not clean the air, according to Roy Choudhury. New Delhi is the world's most polluted capital city. It has measured levels of harmful particulate matter, known as PM 2.5, that are many times higher than normal. In high levels, PM 2.5 is an air pollutant that damages the lungs, according to research conducted by the Energy Policy Institute at the University of Chicago. Dirty air kills over 1 million people in India each year. And the next, what I can learn from this subtopic, I discovered that New Delhi is the most polluted city in the world, and I began to realize the significance of a healthy environment for the safety of the wider population. And the way I learned, I opened the Listening Voice of America website first, then selected the topic and subtopic. Then I listen to the audio and read the text. I'm using a laptop and a headset, and I'm in an undisturbed and quiet place, which is my room. The next topic is about ask a teacher. Subtopic 1, the title is Sometimes, Sometime, and Sometime. Date time, Friday, November 12, 2021, 8:12 p.m. This is the screenshot, and the content is about differences in use, sometimes, sometime, and sometime. The first is sometimes only has one meaning, one, namely at certain times, and includes the adverb of frequency. For example, this is the for example, sometimes my family goes out for ice cream. And the second, sometimes mean at an unspecific or unknown time in the past or future. Sometime can be an adverb or an adjective. For example, let's meet for coffee sometime soon. As an adjective, we can use sometime to talk about someone in the past. For example, singer Barbara Streisand is a sometime screenwriter and director. The third is some time, which means a long time, contains both an adjective and a noun. For example, I'll need some time to finish reading this book. And what I can learn from this subtopic, I have come to know how to differentiate between sometime, and sometime usage. The way I learn is, like always, I listening first to the audio carefully, and then I continue to read the subtopic text while listening. The goal was to know which vocabulary I couldn't catch when I just listened. I use a cell phone or smartphone and a headset. Besides that, I am also in my room where the atmosphere is calm and not noisy. Subtopic The second subtopic is the title is Will and Want. The screenshot or the picture I take, the content about the use of will with the same meaning of want. There are three different ways we use the verb will. First, the modal verb will. For example, the train will leave at 9 o'clock. Will as a desire. The only difference here between will and want is that we often add to after want. As in, you can say what you want to about my car. I still love it. You want to about. Using mental force, the third meaning of the verb will is to cause or try to cause something to happen by using the power of your mind. Here is an example. Students want the clock to move faster towards the end of class. What I can learn is I learned how to use the same meaning between will and want, and to find out I studied in three different ways. The next is the way I learn. First, I listened carefully, even though there was some sentences or words that I didn't understand. Second, I look at the available text and images to better understand it. I use cell phones and headphones or something like headset. While listening to it, I'm in a quiet place, and at that time, I choose to stay in my room to focus more. The third subtopic is anyway and similar words. This is date, time. This is a screenshot. And the content is about the use and similar meaning of the words nevertheless and anyway. These two words are adverbs that provide an explanation of verbs and adjectives. The word nevertheless is more formal than anyway. For example, COVID-19 infection rates are falling in my state. Nevertheless, we should still follow the safety guidelines. Other words or expressions that can serve the same purpose as regardless, in any case, and at any rate. Example of the word anyway. I think Candice will not read my message, but I'm going to write to her anyway. In this statement, the speaker is writing despite the fact that the message is impossible to read. The usual meaning is similar to in any case or even though something else is true. Also, another meaning of anyway is to give more power to a question, as in, you can't go to the front line. Who do you think you are anyway? And a third way to use anyway is to add or make change to something that was said earlier. For example, I'm sorry, you can't go to the park today. Anyway, it's going to rain. And what I can learn from this subtopic is I can understand the usage and meaning of the words nevertheless and anyway. It also aids in the expansion of my vocabulary. The way I learn: first, I opened the Listening Voice of America website on the internet. The second is choose the topic and subtopic. Third, I listen to the audio and I also read the text. Then the tool I use is a laptop with a headset, and I'm in a quiet place that is my room. And the last, the sixth is the sixth topic is health and lifestyle. So the subtopic one, the title is Can New Variants of the Coronavirus Keep Appearing? This is date, time I took this topic, the subtopic, I mean. This is the screenshot and the content. There is a chance that a coronavirus variant will emerge. This is possible because some people have not been vaccinated and people can become infected with the virus. Virus researchers or experts like Andrew Reid, Dr. Adam Lowring, and Joshua Schiffer explained the virus, which would repair with a new variant. The virus can still mutate to become more infection, but it is like unlikely to double its rate of spread. Joshua said as more people get to shot, the virus must spread through people who have some defense against the virus or immunity in order to survive. If that happen, if that happens, scientists might suggest that the vaccine be changed with new information to counter the emerging variant. I'm sorry. It would be like how the shot for the flu, other viruses are changed every year. Every year. And what I can learn is I receive information about the possibility of the emergence of variations of the coronavirus. And to prevent this, vaccines should be updated with new information. The way I learn: first, I listen carefully. And second, I look at the available text and pictures while listening. I use handphone media and a headset, and I am in a quiet place, so I can be more focused. The subtopic 2, the title is about study low-cost antidepressant reduced COVID-19 hospitalization risk. Content information that low-cost antidepressants reduce the need for hospitalization among high-risk COVID-19 patients. So it's about drug trials. The study involved nearly 1,500 Brazilians who had recently been infected with the coronavirus that causes COVID-19. Research results from the Lancet Global Health publication state that antidepressants are much cheaper than other available treatments for COVID-19. Research leaders say the drug could help provide low-cost protection against severe illness or death in poor countries that lack a COVID-19 vaccine. What I can learn is there are medicine that can help for health at a low cost. The way I learn, like always, I listen first and then I look at the available text while re-listening. I use handphone and headset and I'm in a quiet place to be more focused. Subtopic 3, the title is Health Problems Tied to Climate Change Are Getting Worse. This is the picture and the content. The subtopic concerns two reports published by the medical publication Lancet, namely health issues with climate change getting worse. The report found some dangerous trends, such as more people also living in warmer places where some diseases spread more easily, such as cholera or dengue fever. The study also found that 72% of countries experienced increased exposure to forest fires, and by 2020, up to 19% of the world's land surface will be affected by extreme drought. What I can learn from this subtopic is I came to know that even worse health can be caused by worsening climate change. The way I learn, as always, first I listen carefully and then I look at the available text and pictures while listening to determine which words were unfamiliar and needed to be practiced again. I use smartphone, media, and a headset. And while listening to it, I am in a quiet place to be more focused, and I am seated in front of my study table in my room.
Those are 6 topics that I learned. If I made a mistake intentionally or not, I apologize. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you for watching.